Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at content in DBZ Dokkan and what I would classify as content, and just discuss a little bit as to whether we get enough. So for me, when we discuss content, I think a lot of the times I like to remove things like Extreme Z Awakenings, the actual battles, like the actual, Extreme Z battles you have to do, and I like to remove a lot of the grind associated factors. Like link leveling is not content. No one can convince me that link leveling is content. Link leveling is something to expend stamina. It's not content. It's not something for you to do. It's not enjoyable. You don't want to actively link level. In fact, people go out of their way to automate link leveling as much as possible. So for me, content is something whereby you're doing something to have fun. You are enjoying what you're doing. And so when we look at content, a lot of it obviously comes down to challenge mode, game modes, red zone, etc, etc. And I think the celebration has done an okay job when it comes to that content. The Divine Wrath, the Mortal Will event, I think is pretty decent. I think it's a fairly solid event. I think it's got a good mix of beginner style difficulty along with some interesting designs for bosses that make it quite interesting and difficult. I think the red zones so far have been quite tough, but have also been quite enjoyable experiences. I think they've been quite fun and quite thrilling. I think they've provided a really good level of difficulty to test out the new units, even if no iteming them was not distinctly difficult. In terms of the other red zone, we got missions. We got missions in terms of like LGE, GT. We got Fighting Legend Vegeta missions. We got Infinite Dragon Ball History. I think all of this was good content, and this is what I classify as content. Things like missions for stages, all of this is good stuff. Now, what I don't classify as content inherently is things like story modes, things like Extreme Z battles, things like quest mode, things like link leveling, anything whereby the goal is to redo a stage or to farm something as fast as possible. And it's not to say that these are inherently bad mechanisms. They're used to expend stamina, they're used to take up time. They're so that players have a time sink to invest their time into to keep themselves devoted to the game. For me, personally speaking, they achieve what they're meant to achieve. I wouldn't classify them as content, but at the same time, every gacha game has them. The problem I think a lot of people face is that they constantly want to play the game. Dokkan's a mobile game. Outside of Ultimate Clash and outside of the couple of challenge stages you get per month, realistically, you should actually just be doing your 3 daily missions and logging out. You shouldn't feel this need to link level, you shouldn't feel this need to do all this stuff. And so for me, I think people need to keep that in mind when we talk about Dokkan and Dokkan content. But yeah, I think in the long run, a lot of the times people forget how much they play this game. I mean, I myself, considering link leveling and stuff like that, but every day I think I post on the channel must be around 20 to 30 minutes of Dokkan based content, every single day. That's not filming. Showcases of units that are 6, 7, 8 minutes long. That takes about 18 minutes to just get the footage. Sin Shenron runs, which are 8 to 12 minutes. Cell Max runs, Red Zone runs. Tips on events, tips on growth events, what content's coming next, trying out new units, trying out that unit that I just got rainbowed. I think when you factor in all of that and you look at how much you can do each day, I think there's enough to do each day. I just think at the end of the day, for me, people need to also accept that yes, there is unfortunately a limitation to how much you should play mobile games. I don't think that should be surprising. I don't think people should be surprised by a limitation on mobile games. You shouldn't be coming in to play Dokkan 18 hours a day. Go play an MMO. Go do something else. The amount of content we've got this celebration has been good. I've enjoyed it a lot. I think they could have maybe add in more missions. I think that's a great way to extend the length of time that players play Dokkan for. I think it's also an incredibly easy way with minimal rewards that won't impact the grander scheme of the game's economy. I think adding in missions for things like Red Zone, I can think of all the Red Zones, I can easily add 7 category missions onto all of them. And I think this continues to be the best way to give people content. People are so happy to get missions with Part 2, and I think they should continue. This should be the regular way. It also allows the game a bit of breathing time to expand horizontally as they bring out new units. And I think that's ultimately the best way to go. But that's it from me. Honestly speaking, I think the celebration, we've had enough content. I think in general we get enough content. I just think people's philosophies, especially hardcore players when it comes to Dokkan, is maybe to play Dokkan too much. I think ultimately at the end of the day, it's a mobile game, and you need to accept that it's not something that's meant to consume more than an hour, maybe max, of your day. It's something to play on train rides and when you're standing in queue at McDonald's. At least that's what I do. That's gonna be it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts on content, and bye.